rolling, rolling on the river. Okay, we're done.
Alright, hi guys. So this is the Minstrel Blues track by track. And we're looking at track 1 today, which is called Pénombre. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Henry, how'd you write Pénombre?
Right, Pénombre, but you did say it very well, was the start of everything. It was the first we did the tracks chronologically, so as I wrote them, and Pénombre is the first track, and it came from me wanting to write in French more. Not necessarily songs, just write a bit more in French that might lead to songs in the future, and poems was a nice way to start, because I don't write many poems or poetry, and I don't write enough in French. And I'm definitely drawn to like darker lyrical themes or subject matter in paintings and in sort of poetry. And I think I just sort of plucked words out of the air, or dark sort of words, and Pénombre was the first one that came. It means darkness, or like even more so like utter darkness.
Like pitch darkness?
Yeah, in French. And as I sort of plucked these words, like Pénombre, I then sort of applied them to maybe what I was going through, used them as a sort of, subject matter to analyze maybe stuff I was going through, emotions and such. So Pénombre is about feeling like you're in utter darkness, not being able to see or hear anything, and you feel like you're speaking, you're saying things, you're screaming, but nothing's coming back. It's just really disconcerting, not getting anything back, until eventually you do, and you get this sort of echo reverberating around, and it's hardly even your own words. It's like this negative sort of like, I don't know, drone coming back to you. So that you feel like you're stuck in like silence and echoes and words, and you're stuck in this sort of web that you've created, and you feel like you sort of pray to yourself, like you've created this sort of maze. Vaguely sort of it. And then obviously I put it to very simple piano, and that, were they linked? I was practicing piano, I'm a beginner, and twinkling around and playing with stuff. And the piano for this is actually one of the few songs I can still play. Maybe because it's the first one and I was playing it before that, and it's this very simple 3 chords with this one recurring note in all 3 that acts like this sort of echo or anchor that you keep coming back to. And I thought it was quite nice that I did that as a beginner, just using that one note, and I really enjoyed it. Very simple. And that's how my side of things sort of came together. What about you? Like, you obviously worked with that to more detail.
Yeah, I kind of so it's worth saying that because I don't speak French, often I was working without a translation, or you would kind of give me like a little one sentence, like this is kind of roughly what this is about, and then I was going off of the sounds of the words and the sounds of the piano and stuff, which was a way of working that I really enjoyed. We had conversations where you were like, do you want the translation? And I was like, maybe not.
I don't know, yeah.
But, well...
Ignorance is bliss.
And then, so for this one specifically, you were talking about kind of echoes and silences and maybe unnatural silences. So I was like, the kind of organizing idea is going to be about sounds and silence. So there's a bit where you say the word silence, silence, and I was like, wouldn't it be great if the whole track kind of cuts there, and then it like seeps back in this slightly uncomfortable way, I suppose. And then kind of riffing off that, I like made a lot of noises and like kind of sidechained them to each other. So sidechain is a production technique where when one sound gets louder, it pushes another sound out of the way. So when this gets louder, this gets quieter. So there's a lot of kind of noises and stuff that don't necessarily, they don't start and finish and like pass on to each other. They're like pushed around by each other. There's kind of a sense of heaviness and entrapment, maybe. And it's worth saying that this one took a while to come together, actually. This was one of the ones we worked on first. It's not quite the first one, but I was making edits on the vocal right up until the wire, and the guitar, which is quite crucial now, was like kind of very late edition, so that's interesting. And what was my last point? My last point was on production techniques, which is there's this kind of nice watery synth sound that people seem to mention when they hear it, which is like kind of falling water or like frothing water.
Very cool.
Thank you. And I made it on the MS-20. For the synth nerds, you get a resonant filter, you modulate the cutoff of the filter with pink noise and then you put white noise through it. That's how you make water sounds. There's going to be a test at the end. But what I like about making natural sounding sounds on an artificial tool is that you can then turn knobs and make them do really strange things. So it kind of goes from a trickly stream to like big, low, boomy water and back again. So it's really fun to be able to just like turn knobs and do unnatural things like that. And I don't know, that was Pénombre.
And it works really well because there's a lyrical theme of being in a well with the idea of water and yeah, the echo and the sound of water and being stuck in there. I think it did really well, really good transcription of words into audio. You know, I don't know. Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's our track by track for Pénombre. Hope you like it. Next, who knows?
Cut.
Yeah, just that step.
Yeah.
Maybe fade to black or something.
I think I should kind of smile and we should do a little coup like something.
Dans la pénombre, j'écris ton nom. Un son qui coule, tombe comme du plomb, plonge au fond. Et en réponse, le son du silence. Ce son qui sonne, ressonne, résonne, et crie non. Vaste cathédrale du vide, où résident ces pépites, tous ces petits bouts de bruit, la magnifique bande-son de mon mépris. Quelle belle leçon d'avoir pris la fuite, mais à quel prix? Je suis pris. J'écroule, je coule, au fond de ce puits, au bout de ma vie, perds ma couleur. Je creuse de peur en profondeur, d'heure en heure s'écoule, mais où coule-t-elle? Oui, où, au bout de ce trou sans issue, ici sous terre et pierre, dans la pénombre de ce nom. Dans la pénombre de ce nom et son écho vertigineux, je me puise, je me noie, je tournoie, sans forme. Moi après toi, de mois en mois, chaque fois ma propre proie.